Hi, my name is Kevin Robert Brooks. I'm both a medical and Zodiac Killer researcher. I'm also the author of a forthcoming book entitled Zodiac the Montana Connection. I've been researching medical and psychological issues since I was a child. My grandfather's name was Robert Martin Slavin. He was one of New York City's finest, a New York City policeman who rose through the ranks to detective first grade and won many commendations for outstanding service. He was the old gumshoe type detective. This is the true meaning of the 13-hole punch card dated October 5th, 1970, as sent by the Zodiac Killer. Back in 1957, Donald Lee Booyock shot and killed Deputy Otto Fawson of Chester, Montana. He was a 30-year veteran of the Montana Sheriff's Department in Chester. The story goes that Donald Lee Booyock was hitchhiking his way from Roundup to a job in Shelby, Montana. While making his way on Highway 2, Donald Lee Booyock found himself in Havre, and at about 8:15 a.m., Donald Lee Booyock stole a car parked in front of the Buttery's department store. Noting that his Ford Monarch was missing after he left the Buttery's department store breakfast cafe, Clarence Iverson quickly notified local law enforcement, who in turn radioed Chester, Montana, which is east of Havre on Highway 2, that a car had been indeed stolen and a man in it could be headed their way. Chester Sheriff Dodd's Keith plan would be just wait outside of Chester and send his deputy Otto Fawson to get behind the suspect and box him in. On his way east towards Havre, Deputy Fawson located the stolen vehicle, which was about 2 miles east of Havre in a town called Joplin. The car had a flat tire. Deputy Fawson radioed Sheriff Dodd's Keith that no one was around the car, so he would be headed back west into Joplin to see if anyone had seen anything. Well, while in Joplin, Deputy Sheriff Fawson stopped at the Farmers Union elevator, inquiring to Cecil Hayden, the manager, if he had seen anything. Well, while they were talking, they spotted a man being led out of a car on Highway 2 and Joplin Road. Deputy Fawson decided to go and question the man, and when he did, witnesses say a scuffle ensued and both men entered Deputy Fawson's patrol car, and then one man exited the car and fell into a ditch which was beside the road. It was Deputy Fawson. He had been shot 5 times in the neck and chest. Deputy Fawson died 10 minutes after he reached the hospital. This was 13 years to the day that the 13-hole punch card was sent to the San Francisco Chronicle on October 5th, 1970. What Zodiac was indeed telling us was that this was the anniversary of this shooting of Deputy Fawson, which Donald Lee Booyock believed was self-defense, as he claimed the deputy had pistol whipped him. He felt he had no choice but to defend himself. This I learned from people who knew Donald Lee Booyock. Donald Lee Booyock escaped in Deputy Fawson's patrol car, and what ensued was the largest posse manhunt in the history of that area of Montana at the time. 6 planes flew overhead and 200 volunteers from all over the state arrived, armed with everything from pitchforks to guns, and even a machine gun was involved in the search. Even George Talbot of Montana Sheriff's Association brought in his famed bloodhound, Joy, who proved to be very valuable, picking up Donald Lee Booyock's trail in the hunt. Donald Lee Booyock was caught in the evening hiding in an outhouse. The 13-hole punch card, dated October 5th, 1970, was in fact 13 years to the day that Donald Lee Booyock shot and killed Deputy Otto Fawson on October 5th, 1957, by shooting him 5 times in the throat and chest. If you notice on the 13-hole punch card, he uses a conductor's type punch to clip 13 holes in the card, 1 for each year of the shooting. He also mentions some of them fought. It was horrible. Deputy Fawson, he did fight, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible outcome, no doubt. He goes on to say it's just one big 13, as if he's writing about an anniversary, which in fact he was. He then writes, "There are reports that city police are closing in on me." He goes on to say, "It's not true. In fact, I'm crack-proof." Well, he wasn't crack-proof, because we now have the evidence to know who the Zodiac Killer was, and he was in fact Donald Lee Booyock. This is just one of the many clues we have uncovered to prove that Donald Lee Booyock was indeed the Zodiac Killer.